All right, so hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. Raphael, thanks for coming on. So today I've got a full day of showings, and I figured, um, what oh, what better time? Can we see me? Sorry, I got a call. What better time to go over a couple of showing tips for agents? Because I've got a full day of showings, and yesterday I actually did showings during the holiday as well. And my clients are from New York and have property in Texas. They're investors and they are looking to buy some property here as well. And when my client stops and says, "Oh my gosh, how organized you are. What is this? What is this folder you have?" I said, "But what do you mean?" I said, "This one's for you and this one's mine." And I explained everything in the folder. And he was perplexed. And he was like, "Wow, this is amazing. My agent in New York doesn't do this." So, it dawned on me, whether we're veteran agents, whether you've been doing it for a year or whether you just started, I think some tips are helpful. Use some reminders. Use them, don't use them, whatever the case may be. I want to give them to you. These are just some things I think are important for agents when you do showings. So let's start. First things first. Some things you might have thought about, some things you might implement already, and some things you're like, "Oh my gosh, sure, Rosie, I'm going to do that." So whatever the case is, it's awesome. Wanted to come on here and help and give you guys just 10 quick tips. So first one, I like to show roughly like 4 to 5 houses per showing tour. And the showing tour is that set a time that you have with your clients. Today, I'm going to be with a client from 12:15 to 2, and we're going to be looking at one specific area. And what I like to do is leave enough time for a buffer. That's why even though we are seeing 4 properties, it's from 12:15 to 2. I know Miami traffic. Make sure you know where you are and you know how long it's going to take to get from one place to another. I like to show 4 or 5 houses because I think it's important not to overwhelm the client. I like to identify properties that really fit what they've told me they're looking for. And then I will take them to each one. I'll map it out. I will show up with a folder. Obviously, you pick whatever color you like. If you want to do your brand, awesome. If not, it could be just plain like this. So what you're looking at right here is an MLS sheet. So my second tip would be to bring a folder with an MLS sheet, which has information, the client's printout of the MLS that matches the one I have on my clipboard, which is the agent printout of the MLS. So always go with whatever properties you're going to show your client, always go prepared. Bring the MLS sheets for them. I even like to go one step ahead, one step further, and highlight some of the information I think is really important for my clients to know. And in this case, for example, on an MLS sheet, I would highlight the list price. I would highlight the address so they can look at it quickly and be like, okay, this one, this price. Because the sheet, if you've seen an MLS sheet, I'm sure we all have, it's really busy, has a lot of information. I also will highlight the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the square footage, and I will highlight the taxes. If there's an HOA, also highlight that. So that brings me to number 3 for my tips. Know the home that you're showing. No, it might not be your listing, but I take the day prior to go through, what I'm showing tomorrow, look at it in the MLS, confirm that it's still available. Make sure that you know the year it was built. These questions are going to be asked. The year it was built, the square footage, beds, baths, how many owners has the property had, how many tenants has the property had. My investor client yesterday was very interested in knowing how many tenants have been in this home. He was trying to use that to gauge, whether the home needed several repairs. It was one we hadn't gone into yet, whether it was going to need several repairs or not. A lot of people want turnkey homes. So knowing how many knowing how many owners or how many tenants have been in that home gives your client a better idea of sort of like, the interior, what it might look like, what it might take to flip, how much money they're going to have to spend, etc. On remodels and things like that. Also, taxes and HOA information. Know that. they will ask you. I mean, bare minimum, the info's on the MLS sheet, right? So if you don't know it off the top of your head, go ahead and refer to the sheet, but definitely have that information ready for your clients. What else? Let's see. Oh, I like to find a unique feature of every home that I'm showing my clients. It's a good way to say, well, remember this one? This how, let's just say there's a house with a facade of rocks. I'll call it the rock house. I will find one identifiable feature in that property, or that unit, and that way I can let my clients, it'll be top of mind. I like to give things like a little moniker, give them a name, and I'll be like, remember the rock house? What do you think about the rock house? Let's compare the rock house to the blue wall house. Let's say there was a condo that had, an incredible statement wall that was just navy blue. Those little things are going to help bring your client's mind back to the property and have them remember what it looked like. Know the area, know the area, know the area. You're selling in this area, make sure you know it. If you don't and you're not from it, and let's say, see, I'm about an hour and a half from Boca, but I have a client up in Boca who, is a friend of mine, wants to use me, and I'm very transparent. I'm not from Boca. It's like an hour and 30 from me. I frequent the area. There's great dining. I can tell you that much. But as far as the schools and whatnot, do your research on that before you get there. Oftentimes, your clients will ask about the schools, about the area, what's close, what's in proximity, conveniences, things like that. So try to brush up on the area you're showing. I think that's important too. It's a good tip. Then also remember, I think we have to remember that this process is typically stressful for 95% of our clients. Be the agent that shows enthusiasm. Be the agent that is there to solve an issue or calm any worry that they have. Okay, what's your hesitation? What's your reservation here? How can we solve it with the next property? And be transparent about your enthusiasm for your job. This is what we do. If we don't show houses, we can't sell them. So showing property is pretty essential, and it's an integral part of being an agent. So being prepared and having a couple of little aces in your pocket, a little thing, like I did yesterday where my client was like, oh, excuse me, what is this folder? And I was like, oh, I'm happy to tell you. Let's open it up and go through it. And they were just so impressed. And I think that's really silly, because for something that's so obvious to me, something that is, something I do like the back of my hand, just everyday routine for me. When I go on a showing, my client, I don't care if it's my 10th showing with that client. They're getting one of these and they know it. And so the first time I meet them, yesterday, my investor client was super impressed. So I said, this is a great time to hop on here and let you guys know kind of what sets you apart as a professional, in case we're just showing up and running out of the car with our bottle of water, and don't even have a pen. So these things are important, and these things go a long way. Let's see. So I talked about showing 4 to 5 homes. I talked about making sure you know the area. Oh, one other thing, I'll leave you with one last tip. Let's see. One other thing I like to do, if you can, try to get to the first property earlier than your client. Give yourself like 10, 15 minutes. I like to get into the first property earlier than my client. I like to open the door for them. I like to turn on the lights. I like to make sure it's comfortable. Why do I do that? Because it's typically my only opportunity to have a welcoming and inviting showing for my clients, unless it's my listing and I've gotten there, prior, and I'm letting them in. Because oftentimes what do clients do? They'll follow you to the next one. So if you've got, a day of showings in a couple of hours with these clients and you're showing 4 properties, number 2, 3, and 4 are not going to get the same kind of love and attention the first one does, simply because the first one, if you're able to get there early, you can give them a very welcoming and inviting welcome home experience and open the door for them. Otherwise, you and I both know they're going to be standing over your shoulder watching you open that lockbox for properties 2, 3, and 4. So I like to go there first. I like to open up, make them feel like home, and then I'll let them know, okay, well, for the next one, follow me, and they watch you open it, and then they'll be there, and they'll be there with you flipping lights on. So it gives it a different little extra little touch of love, little dash of sprinkles on top. So I like to do that with my first showing. That's what I'm going to go run and do now. I have a 12:15. So I'm going to go run and do that. I'm going to open up this beautiful 4-story townhome for my clients and overlooking the lake. I will show you guys the view if you follow me on Instagram, Rosie Sells Miami. If you guys need any other pointers or would like my MLS showing sheet, I've got a well, sort of, well, I don't have it here, but I have something similar. I have my buyer intake form here. So it's similar. I've got a form for my showings that I not only print out, but I give my clients enough room to write and make notes on the properties that we saw. I send this to them the night prior via email and via text so that they've got it. And we just go down the list that way. But if you guys want the template, just let me know. You know, my email is rosiesellsmiami@gmail.com. And those are my tips for showings today. Anybody have any questions? Hey, Julio, thank you for joining. I didn't see when you
Hey,
hopped in. How you
how
doing?
you doing? Good, good, good. I don't know if you covered it because I jumped in later, but actually yesterday, something it kind of I had a showing yesterday in a condo over in by Coral Gables. But anyways, it was a building. So what I said
Uh,
was to myself, I mean, I'm writing a text here at the same time. Um, I said, well, I got there like 50 minutes before. So I went through the whole building. Thank God there was a manager there. So I got the key for the pool. I found out I'm not familiar with this building,
right.
right? So I didn't ask the agent. But anyways, I got there. So where's the pool? Where's the gym? And do I need a fob access? How do I get in and out? Then one thing I forgot is I said I have to write this down and I have to make a list of like what you're saying. How many units in the building? How many units each floor per floor and things like that. So, those are very important things. So they're going to ask you all those questions,
Yep.
besides the
Yep.
budget or whatever. But yeah,
Right.
and be there already, walk the building, know where everything's at. When you walk in, when you get off the elevator, don't turn left and then go all the way around, come back and go right. Just know where the unit is. Go to the unit,
Mm-hmm.
open it up, turn on the lights, come back down. You give yourself enough time to be ready and wait for them in the lobby, let's say in this particular case. So yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
you had covered that, but yeah, that's my experience
Yeah.
yesterday at the casualidad.
That's so true. I did. So I covered on, know the property that you're
Yeah,
showing, whether it's a single family home, a townhouse, or a condo. Obviously, when you're talking about condos, things are a little different because there's a
right,
lot of extras with condos that we don't have with
right,
single families. Like the thing about the floors and how many units, and then you got to talk about the budget. The
right,
reserve budget, because if you're doing financing, we know that you can't do that if they have no reserves, and these are
right,
things that a lot of clients don't even know.
right.
So bring up the reserves, in my opinion, before you go do showings, right?
Exactly.
So you're not showing buildings that they fall in love with and they can't even get financed for.
Right.
So that's really important too. Thanks for bringing that up. I hadn't touched
Yeah.
upon condos, so I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just happened yesterday, so it's like, okay, she's talking about this today, so I need to jump in and maybe give my 2 cents of my
yeah.
experience yesterday in the case. I
Thank you.
realized that I need to have all that information.
Yeah, I
And
showed new construction yesterday that I had never been into, and apparently I sold it so well. A client asked me how many of these I'd been in already, and I said
yeah.
it was the first one. I was like, they were just built yesterday, literally just finished this year, and no owner. No one had lived in it. One owner.
Right,
Just an investment. The property still even had the appliances, still had the paper on them.
right,
So I was like, you get to unpackage everything.
right.
So it was fun. I sold the
But yeah,
heck out of it apparently.
even if it's your first day in real estate, let's say, and you have all that information with you, and you walk in there and you run it, you know everything about the property, you do what you did, they're gonna freak out. They're gonna say, "Oh my God, you're an expert." There's no
You got
questions
it.
after that, you know.
You got it. So
So
I think showings are a really, really good opportunity for new agents even to fake it till you make it. If
Exactly.
you have all this information and all you have to do is just read the paper and absorb the info, and it's 4 properties, it's not really that much. But if they're overwhelming themselves and their client and they're doing 10 properties a day, which is so not feasible, you can't absorb all that information. But 4,
Right.
you should be able to nail it down. You should be able to maybe revert back to it, or right before you go into the house, take a look at it. But that's why it's important to show up with something like this, even if it's just MLS sheets, because there's agents that aren't showing up with a piece of paper or a pen. I know.
Right. A
You
bottle
can
of
go
water.
one step further and bring
Run
your
out with a
client a
bottle of water in your
clipboard.
hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go one step further now. Starting in a couple of weeks, I'm waiting for the order to come in. I'm gonna give all my clients a clipboard. So when you meet me, you're getting a clipboard with your MLS sheets on top and a pen. So, getting a personalized pen, putting it on there so that they have the confidence to walk around, feel like this isn't a huge decision. So they feel important and they feel, very taken care of.
I have
Just
something.
be the
I
expert.
I have something that I want to share that I'm
Please.
putting together. Give me a second.
Yes. I will give you 1 second.
Yeah. This I bought this on Amazon, right? So, anyways,
Yeah.
what I do this sheet. What I do is I'm gonna share the document that I use. It's a sheet where it has like 4 columns, 4 properties,
Okay.
and there's one sheet that goes together with that. It goes one sheet that is just for that one property. That it details, the things that you check off, you like, you didn't like, whatever and then what I do is when I have 4 or 5, multiple showings, I attach the listing, the client's MLS sheet with that one sheet behind it attached, and then that one other single sheet for 4 properties in one sheet. So with one MLS and then the other one in the back, so once they run the whole day, they're not gonna remember the first property what they like or didn't like. So it's something that
Right.
gives them the opportunity to check off and mark what they liked and they didn't like. I'll share it.
Exactly. Yeah, please do. So same thing, guys. If you want that sheet, Julio will send it over to me. He can share that with me. I can share it with you via email. I've got my showing sheet as well that I'm willing to share. Same concept. So what you want to do is have an area for your clients to make their notes, because what you want to do is you want to eliminate as you go. After the first property and you see property 1 and 2, okay, so between property 1 and 2, and you go back to the sheet and you refer on all the notes that they made, because they're making them during, right? They're usually not going to be making them at the end of the day. They're going to be making notes during the showing. So I
Right.
like to go between 1 and 2. Where are we at? Which one do you like better? What do you like about one? What don't you like about one? Etc. And that way you could eliminate as you go. And then let's say they pick number 2 from there. Then you show 2 and 3. And then, okay, from 2 and 3, which one do you like? And when you end up at 4, they should really only have like 2 choices, that they've boiled it down to, if you eliminate as you go. And it just makes the process a lot easier, and they're like, oh wow, I didn't even think of that. So that's what I had yesterday, and it worked out really, really well. I'm going to start implementing my little clipboards, because I think that's a little better. It's a step up than a folder, but I can't be giving clipboards out to multiple every single time I do the showing with the same client. Be like, you already got your clipboard, bring your clipboard. Bring your clipboard with you. All right, guys, I have to hop off because I have to go. I have 15 minutes to get about 30 minutes away. So wish me luck. I hope everyone has a great day.
I'm
Make it a
gonna email
wonderful
you
Tuesday. Email me
the
that
sheet
sheet, please.
so you could.
RosieSellsMiami
Yeah,
at gmail.com, and I will send it out to everyone.
you got it.
All right. Thank you, Julio.
You
It
bet.
was
And
awesome. Thank you,
talk to you
Michael.
later.
All right, everyone. Bye. Have a great
Bye
day.
bye.